Today we are starting chapter 4, which is representing and solving equations and inequalities. So this first part of the chapter is just going to be equations. So we're not even going to deal with inequalities until later on. So today is 4.1, which is understanding equations and solutions. So this is an introduction to equations. So by the end of the day, you should be able to determine if a value for a variable makes an equation true. Okay, so I want you to underline variable, and I want you to remember that that's the letter. Okay, so a variable is a letter, and if you don't remember that, you need to. Okay, so that's going to be X, G, Y, A. Any of those, any letter is considered a variable. Okay, so on this chart, it gives us the value of X on the left. It gives us an equation in the middle, and then it says, are both sides equal? And that's how we'll determine if it fits or not. Okay, so it says 3 is the value of X. So we're going to plug in our 3 for the X right there. And we get 3 plus 3 equals 7. Okay, now when we look at that, now it's asking, are both sides equal? Well, 3 plus 3 is 6. So this would be 6 equals 7, and that is not correct. So we're going to draw a line through our equal sign. That's the sign for not equal. And we're going to say, no, they are not equal. So that means 3 cannot be a value of X because it does not make the equation true. Okay, so for 4, we plug our 4 in for X, and we say 4 plus 3 equals 7. Well, we should know 4 plus 3 is 7, so we get 7 equals 7. Okay, now are both sides equal? Yes, they are. They both equal 7. Okay, so then for the last one, we have the value of X is 5. So we would get 5 plus 3 equals 7. Okay, 5 plus 3 is 8, and 8 does not equal 7, so we draw our line and we say no. Both of the sides are not equal, so that means 4 has to be the value of X. It can't be any other number. It can't be any other number on here. It can't be 3 or 5. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. We're trying to figure out the value of X, or the value of our variable. An equation is a mathematical sentence that uses an equal sign to show that two expressions are equal. Okay, so notice it says equal sign. An equation has to have an equal sign. So last chapter, we dealt with expressions. Okay, so the expressions are what's on the left and the right side of the equal sign. Those are expressions, and then the equal sign puts it all together, and they are an equation. Okay, so we're going to be dealing with the equations, and remember, those always have an equal sign. Okay. A solution of an equation is a value for the variable that makes the equation true. So up in our chart, 4 was our solution, because we know 4 plus 3 equals 7. Okay. 3 was not a solution, because 3 plus 3 does not equal 7. And 5 was not a solution, because 5 plus 3 does not equal 7. So our solution was 4 up there. Okay. So I want you to really pay attention to this first example, because half of your problems on your homework are just like this. Okay, they look exactly like this. So when you are stuck on your homework, I want you to go back to this question. Okay. And it says, tell which value of the variable is the solution of the equation. So you can see it lists our equation first. So our equation is 63 equals 9b. So we have to figure out, does b equal 5, 6, 7, or 8? Okay, we're figuring out the solution. Okay, so we just go in order. So remember, 9b, this is multiplication. Okay, if there's no space between the number and the letter, that is multiplication. Okay. So then we would plug in 5. So we know 63 equals 9 times 5. Okay, 9 times 5 is 45, so that means they are not equal to each other. So I would put my line through it, and that means it can't be 5. Okay. So 63 equals 9 times 6. 9 times 6 is 54, so they do not equal each other. So I cross out my 6. 63 equals 9 times 7. 9 times 7 is 63, so that's good to go. But I'm just going to double check, and we'll do 63 equals 9 times 8 to make sure we tried all of them. 9 times 8 is 72, so that does not equal that. Or does not equal 63. So that means our answer would be 7. So B equals 7. Okay. Yes, that was a lot of work for this one question, and no, I don't need you to show your work like that on the homework, okay? Because most of you, I know, can do that in your head. So just show me what the actual answer is, or what the solution is. All right, on this next question, it says, what is the value of the variable? Okay, so I know a lot of you are instantly going, oh no, it's a fraction. But no, this is just division, okay? This is the same as x divided by 5 equals 10. Okay, they are the exact same thing. So we have to figure out x divided, so what divided by 5 equals 10? Okay, and no, the answer is not 2, because if we did 2 divided by 10, or 2 divided by 5 equals 10, we would get a decimal. Okay, so what divided by 5 equals 10? Hopefully you can do that in your head, and you can know that x equals 50. Okay, and if we plug that 50 in, we'd get 50. Let's see, we'd get 50 divided by 5 equals 10, which is correct. Okay, you can always plug your number into the equation to make sure you got it right. All right, Jordan received a $15 gift card for phone apps. He has used $4.50 of the value and wants to buy one more app to use up the balance. Which app should Jordan buy and why? Okay, so I want you to think of an equation that you can do to solve this. Okay. So one equation, so he started with $15. He has the $15 gift card. He bought $4.50 worth of an app, and then we're trying to figure out how much he has left to buy other apps. Okay. Another way to write this as an addition problem would be that's how much he has left plus $4.50 equals 15. So that's a way to do it as well. Okay. Either way will work. On the homework, you're going to mainly see it like this, with the variable on the same side as the number. Okay. Most of the time, the variable like this one is not going to be by itself. Okay. But so he wants to know which app should Jordan buy. So we have the recipes app for $9.50, a sports app for $10.50, and then a remote desktop for $12. Okay. All you do, you can pick one of these equations and solve it. So I'm going to do 15 minus 450. Remember, I have to put my decimal and line them up. So that's $15 minus 450, just like that. Okay, 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't do 0 minus 5, so I'm going to borrow from that 5 and change it to a 4. This one changes to a 10, and we get 10 minus 5 is 5, 4 minus 4 is 0, and 1 minus 0 is 1. Bring down your decimal, and you should have $10.50, so that means he should be able to buy the sports app. Okay, he can buy the recipes app, but then he's still going to have $1 left over, okay, to use on apps. And he can't buy the remote desktop with the gift card at all because it's too much money. Okay. All right, flip your page over, and we have 2 more questions. Okay. Maya has a total of 1,190 marbles and 5 boxes. She puts an equal number of marbles in each box. Which of Maya's 3 friends, if any, correctly guess the number of marbles X Maya has in each box? Okay, so this X right here means the number of marbles she has in each box. Okay, and you can see this girl said 234, this one said 242, and this one said 240. Okay, so it tells us there's 1,190 marbles, and there's 5 different boxes that we're putting them into. So we have to figure out how many marbles go in each. Okay. So yes, normally we could divide to get this, okay? But it wants us to figure out which one of these is correct. 234, 242, or 240. So we're going to figure out, if it says x is 234, that would mean this is 5 times 234 equals 1,190. So I'm going to do that up here. I'm going to do 234 times 5 to see if that's correct. And I got 1,170. So that means this is not correct, and 234 does not work. So let's try the next one. Let's do 5 times 242 equals 1,190. And we got to see if that one works. So we do 242 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10, so I carry my 1, bring down my 0. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. And then we do 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. We get 1,210. So that means x cannot be 242, so put your line through the equal sign, and that will not work. So then we have our last one, which means it probably works since it's the last one to try, but you never know. So we'll do 5 times 240 equals 1,190. So 240 times 5. 0 times 5 is 0. 4 times 5 is 20. So carry your 2, bring down your 0. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Okay. So it means no one got it correct, okay? And the actual, nope. So they all got it wrong. Okay? And so all the question is asking is which of Maya's 3 friends, if any, correctly guessed the number of marbles? And they were all wrong. Okay? So to solve this, we're not going to, but if we wanted to, we would just divide 1,190 divided by 5. Okay? All right. Last question. Anthony has a total of Y marbles in 4 boxes. He puts 13 marbles in each box and has none left over. Which of his friends, if any, correctly guessed how many marbles Anthony has in all? Use the equation Y divided by 4 equals 13. Okay? So one of his friends thinks 48 marbles, one friend thinks 60 marbles, and one friend thinks 120 marbles. Okay? So there's 4 boxes, and each of them have 13 marbles in them. Okay? So we're going to try, on this first one, we're going to do 48 divided by 4. On the second one, we're going to do 60 divided by 4. And the last one, we're going to do 120 divided by 4. Okay? So first thing, we have to do 48 divided by 4. Okay? So I know 40 divided by 4 is 10, so it has to be a little bit more than 10. Okay? But let's divide just in case. So 48 divided by 4. 4 goes into 4 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. We subtract those and bring down our 8. 4 goes into 8 2 times. So that means 48 divided by 4 is 12. Okay, so that means that it can't be 48 because we're trying to get to 13. Okay. So let's try 60 divided by 4. Okay. Do 60 divided by 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 4 is 4, and I subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. Bring down your 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So we get 60 divided by 4 is 15. So that's not correct. Okay? And so already I know that 120 divided by 4 is going to be way above 13. Because if 60 divided by 4 is 15, 120 divided by 4 is going to be a lot more than 13. Okay? So of Anthony's 3 friends, blank correctly guessed the number of marbles he has in all. we would say 0. Okay, none of them guessed the number of marbles that he has in all. Okay, to get your answer, you would just do 13 times 4, because there's 4 boxes and they each have 13 in them, and you would get 52. So 52 would have been the correct answer. Okay, if we would have kept going and we did 120 divided by 4, we would have gotten 30, because I know 4 goes into 12 3 times, so 4 goes into 120 30 times. Okay, like I said at the beginning, this problem is mainly what your homework is. Okay, there are some word problems, so read them carefully. Okay, and then you can always email me if you have questions.